Your body makes large amounts of this tiny molecule when you're young and quietly stops making it as you get older. That molecule is what this video is all about. In 1973, a scientist mixed old cells with young blood and the old cells started acting young again. When he figured out what was causing it, he found a tiny molecule. What he found inside that blood is a good strong skincare ingredient which can actually help with aging of our skin. If you have searched for GHK-Cu, you've probably seen these claims. It reduces fine lines, it reduces wrinkles, it fades dark spots, it firms up the skin. All true. There's also some evidence that it can actually help with hair growth. By the end of this video, you will understand what GHK-Cu can do for your skin, can't do for your skin, when to use it, how to use it correctly, what not to mix it with. I'm also very quickly going to share with you how it actually works in our skin, because understanding that working part makes everything click. So your skin is made up of a lot of proteins. Collagen is a protein, elastin is a protein. These are the materials which keeps your skin bouncy and firm. Now proteins are made from smaller pieces called amino acids. Think of amino acids as individual Lego bricks. A few of these amino acids snap together, that forms a long chain called peptide, and many peptides together form a protein. So if a peptide is a few Lego bricks together, a complete Lego house is a protein. GHK-Cu is a peptide. It's made of just 3 bricks. So these 3 blocks form a small chain, which is the GHK, and the copper is attached to the end of this chain. Now this GHK-Cu is a tiny peptide. It's not lab created. Scientists didn't create this peptide. Our body naturally makes this peptide. Every time your skin gets damaged, be it a cut, inflammation of any kind, a breakout, our body releases GHK-Cu. GHK-Cu is basically a repair signal. Think of it like an emergency broadcast. It tells your skin to send the repair crew. So it doesn't repair by itself. It basically tells the skin to start repairing. Yes, our body needs signals like that. Otherwise, it can't kick into action. So when this signal, when this emergency broadcast reaches your skin, 3 things happen. First, it tells the fibroblasts. Now, fibroblasts are the worker cells inside your skin. It tells these fibroblasts to start producing collagen and elastin, which is a must for all repair of the skin. To build this collagen and elastin, we need copper. That's why GHK-Cu, when it reaches the cells and gives out that emergency broadcast, it also hands over its copper to that, so the cells, the worker cells, can use that copper to start producing that collagen and elastin. Second thing it does is it triggers any tiny blood vessels to start forming. That brings fresh nutrients and oxygen to exactly where the damage is on the skin. Third thing it does is it cleans up. So it basically clears out all the damaged tissue so that there is room for the newer tissue to come and replace it. So it builds, it feeds, and it cleans. When you're young, the levels of GHK-Cu in our body is very high. Cuts heal quickly, our skin recovers faster. Now here's what changes with age. At around 20, we reach the peak of this GHK-Cu in our body. And after that, your body starts producing less and less of GHK-Cu. And by the time we reach 60, we've lost almost 60% of GHK-Cu. Falling levels of GHK-Cu, the repair signals get quieter. The instructions that tell your skin to repair basically kind of slowly shut down. Think of it like a factory. When the manager is there who's managing the whole flow, everything is running smoothly. When the manager is not there, though the builders are still there in the factory, everything doesn't run smoothly. Delays happen because there is no one to actually instruct and oversee the process. So GHK-Cu is your manager. Lower levels of GHK-Cu means wrinkles get deeper, more fine lines start appearing, dark spots linger longer, wounds take longer to heal. None of this actually a separate problem. They're all symptoms of the same, the fading signal. If you do nothing, it's not dangerous. Your skin is not going to fall apart suddenly. But the change is steady. The gap between what skin can do and what it actually does is widening. But the good news is we can now put that signal, the GHK-Cu, back into our skin. And that's where the skincare products come into play. So if you're considering trying it, here's what you need to know. Look for products which has got GHK-Cu between 0.5 and 2%. Start slow. Start with a lower concentration and then gradually increase it. More is always not better when it comes to GHK-Cu, because anything over 2% can actually cause inflammation and redness in your skin. GHK-Cu loves water. but the top layer of our skin is made up of oil. So if GHK-Cu is present in a water-based serum, it can't enter into the deeper layers of your skin. What we need is liposomal formulations, and any serum which has a liposomal formulation will always mention it in their packaging because it's too much of a marketing plus point for them to miss it. So basically, the liposomal formulations, think of it like a capsule. The peptide is wrapped around a tiny fat bubble, and that helps its penetration through the oily layers of the skin. Never use a serum which has got GHK-Cu with vitamin C or kojic acid. So these ingredients should never be used in the same skincare routine. The copper in GHK-Cu will react with these ingredients and destroy them. Both vitamin C and that kojic acid will become useless. And you don't want that because everything in skincare is quite expensive. You can use them all together, but not in the same routine. Use it at different times of the day or on different days. If your main concern is wrinkles, fine lines, or just that aging of the skin, then the GHK-Cu is a good ingredient to incorporate into your skincare routine. Yes, it can fade those dark spots gradually, but if dark spots is your main concern, then GHK-Cu is not your answer. You have to look for other anti-pigmentation skincare ingredients in those cases, like your alpha-arbutin or tranexamic acid, not GHK-Cu, because GHK-Cu is not classified as an anti-pigmentation skincare ingredient. If you take it as a pill, your stomach acid will break down the peptide before it reaches the skin. For skin, the topical ingredients are way better than the pills. If you find something called copper tripeptide 1, now that's GHK-Cu. That's the scientific name. The copper tripeptide 1 is a scientific name for GHK-Cu. That's about it. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please give me a like and do subscribe to my channel. That will really help me a lot, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.